What happens when you combine a race-swapped Buffy the Vampire Slayer with low-rent lesbian Twilight fanfiction? You get a Netflix series that's canceled after one season. First Kill. Meet Juliet, a high school-age vampire who for some reason can still see herself in mirrors, walk around in daylight, and is still in high school, who falls in love with a Slayer named Calliope.
You're Calliope? Well, Cal's good.
Sure, why not? They then share a forbidden romance, just like those two. Well, maybe those two. Watch them take on other vampires, werewolves that look like bad CGI from 1995, and make out in the unsexiest way possible. You know, all you're doing is combining The Hunger, Twilight, and Buffy, and it's been done better. I mean, sheesh, you people. If you can't make lesbian vampires work on Netflix, then seriously, something is wrong here. Starring, whoever these people are. I really don't care anymore. But the mom was on Lost and a bunch of stuff you'll probably recognize. Don't miss When Animals Attack on Netflix. Now all we do is sit back and wait for the Axel Braun version, which will be 10 times better, believe me. She's a single female lawyer in the city, who happens to be the cousin of one of the most powerful Avengers.
There's no competition for me because I'm the strongest, so it's just kind of like a different...
Oh, yeah, she let her think that, but...
No, not her. The other one. You know, the green guy. Now, after an accident, where they blatantly change her origin story to prevent her from being saved by a man, transforms her into the Jade Giantess, she'll remind you whose show this is in the first place.
Just remember whose show this actually is.
Yeah, like you were ever gonna let us forget it. She-Hulk. Meet Jennifer Walters, a high-powered LA lawyer who can't help questioning Captain America's sexual history.
Obviously, Captain America was a virgin. Did you see that ass? Like, that ass?
That is America's ass.
Did not deserve to die a virgin. It's like...
Gets sexually harassed outside a bar by a bunch of outdated male stereotypes.
Just being friendly.
Yeah, where you going? So,
Then wakes up in Mexico at Bruce Banner's tropical retreat, who then will take every opportunity to remind you how horrible it is to be a woman in the 21st century.
Triggers are anger and fear.
Those are like the baseline of any woman just existing.
When incompetent men explain my own area of expertise to me, I can prove that's not the case.
More smiles.
When I'm catcalled in the street.
It's 2022. Where do you get catcalled on your way from your office to Starbucks? Yeah, it must be hell going that whole 20 feet from the elevator to the counter. Then, after returning to her career as a high-powered deputy DA, she's attacked by the Jersey Shore and manages to defeat her in about 3 seconds. Well, that was anticlimactic. Tatiana Maslany stars in the show whose writers admit that they don't know how to write a courtroom scene in
Lawyer Show.
I Am Woman Hulk, Hear Me Roar. Literally. Maybe this would have been better if it wasn't written like a Twitter argument between two completely unlikable human beings.
Basically, I was right and Bruce was wrong.
Steve Rogers is not a virgin. Little punk. He lost his virginity to a girl in 1943 on the USO tour.
If this is the best the MCU now has to offer, then I hate to think what you have in store for Daredevil.
Unknown caller. Spooky. Hello? Velma Dinkley speaking.
Hello, Velma. You like solving yourself a mystery?
Yeah, but I'm actually much more three-dimensional than that. Who is this?
This here Black Shaggy. You made the one black guy a drug dealer and a stoner. You gonna die, bitch.
Jinkies. From Lucasfilm, the studio that killed Han Solo, emasculated and then killed Luke Skywalker, and killed Princess Leia off camera, comes the epic fantasy. No, not Lord of the Rings. That's being ruined over at Amazon. The franchise that you kind of remember because Val Kilmer was in it, but now they just turned him into an absentee father. Willow. Meet Princess Kit, an entitled, bratty Gen Z character that for some reason is living in a medieval era. Kit's betrothed to Spider-Man's obnoxious fanboy Flash Thompson. But she has to be gay because diversity. Now she'll have to prove her worth to her true love, Envy's Nest. Together, they'll fail to stick to era-specific dialogue
Well, you're gonna have to suck it up because I'm not gonna be able to survive this thing without you. It's like the one way you're totally consistent. Whoa, wait.
And set off with a crew of extras to find the title character, who only appears in the last 5 minutes of the first episode. Wow, this is really bad. I thought Obi-Wan was terrible. This outdoes it by a country mile. And why do you insist on putting Erin Kellyman in action properties? She's not convincing in anything, and she can't act. You might as well call her Erin Go Away Little Girl Kellyman, because that's what they actually say to her. Starring the worst group of G4 canceled X-Play D&D players in history, in World of Warcraft.
You have to be pretty daft to follow us, considering we're all gonna die.
The show was bad enough, but did you really have to include dwarf tossing? Seriously.
No sexy. No sexy. No sexy.
Norville, you have a girlfriend?
No, she a hoe, you dumb bitch.
And your girlfriend is Gigi?
It's all thanks to you, Velma.
I got tired of waiting and you and your fat dumbass and Daphne started without me. And Gigi likes going to Butttown already. I didn't have to ask. That's right.
No, I'm so excited.
Your fat dumbass better be excited. This just went from 3 to 4-way. Black Shaggy gonna get so much tang, he might as well work for NASA. That's right, it's a NASA joke. Black Shaggy is a scientific individual. You might as well call me Neil deGrasse Shaggy from now on. That's right, I made a NASA joke, which is way smarter than anything Minnie Killing's fat dumbass gonna write in this show. That's what we call meta-humor.
But I only see you when I need you as is. Fine, great. No sweat off my underboob.
Your underboob ain't the only thing that's sweaty. Might want to wash that pussy once in a while. We know it ain't your breath because we know you're too selfish to go down on Daphne. Your whole diet is eating french fries out the damn garbage. That's right. Oh, how's that? Better? That better? Yep, Hammers in the morning, WNBC. Rob Bartlett coming up, Mike Beam Sports, WNBC. Triple Sales coming up. Howard at drive time. WNBC. Hammers in the morning. WNBC. WNBC. How's everybody doing today? WNBC Hammers in the morning. Got a new Black Shaggy coming up. Black Shaggy coming up on WNBC Hammers in the morning. You want to take it? Who wants to see the new Black Shaggy? You want to see the new Black Shaggy? Black Shaggy? Yeah. You want to see the new Black Shaggy? Let's see who else we got in the chat first. Morbid Fury's in the chat. Holocron Records is in the chat. I might have seen it through other means. Yeah, other means meaning means I can't really reveal here. You know what I mean? Andrew Helms in the chat. How you doing? Pegleg Pete's in the chat. Who else is in the chat? Sario Japan is in the chat. Substance D's in the chat. Who wants to see the new Black Shaggy? Want to see the Black Shaggy? I want to see the new Black Shaggy. Let's play the new Black Shaggy, shall we? Osaka's in the chat. How you doing? Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Black Shaggy.
How is my mom's disappearance related to your grandma?
Your mom's left because she hated your fat dumbass, bitch. These dumbass writers gotta make everybody connected to everybody else. Don't know nothing about characterization, know how. That's right.
Your mom's a high school principal married to a guidance counselor.
At least my parents are still married, bitch. Your pops is married to some dumbass waitress almost as dumb as you.
Ah! What the hell? Wait, I found a bag of salad.
What the fuck you doing? Good, something funny actually happened in this goddamn episode. About time, bitch.
We could take Daphne's mom's cop car to Spooner's to get food there. Unfortunately, I don't drive.
Your fat dumbass just wants an excuse to eat out the damn garbage again. You sick girl, you need some help. It ain't the kind of help that Black Shaggy can give you. That's right.
Oh, yuck. Ugh.
Hey, we all know your fat dumbass eat out the garbage. I'm just the one saying it.
Me?
That's right. That's right. That's right. Good old Black Shaggy. Good old Black Shaggy. So, oh yeah. So so I went to go see. No, I didn't want to go see. I saw most of Ant-Man. Not some of Ant-Man. But a smattering? Is it a smattering of Ant-Man? But a smattering of Ant-Man. 49 minutes of Ant-Man. Oh boy. Listen, I was one of those people. I liked the first Ant-Man film. Ant-Man opens to $104 million. Fifth MCU on road to open, $100 million. Biggest for Ant-Man openings, February 3rd, $100 million behind Black Panther and Deadpool. Yes, very, very good astute observation. Ant-Man is a movie. Ant-Man 3 is a movie. It was shot with cameras. It was shown in a theater. People pay money to see it. Therefore, it qualifies as a movie. This movie's pretty bad. I'm not even talking about the quote-unquote woke parts of it. It is just badly written. It's badly structured. It's badly... There was a couple of lines in the beginning about how the daughter got bailed out of jail. You know, yeah, but yeah, I mean, there was that kind of stuff. Yes, we Richard Belzer passed away. I thought he died already. A few years ago. Oh well. And the whole problem with Ant-Man, and this Ant-Man at least, this Ant-Man movie, is that it's just not engaging. I don't know what it is. It's just not. It's like I said, it's just not engaging. It kind of meanders. It kind of it goes. It doesn't go anywhere, and the talent in it is wasted. Well, Ranch is hungry. He's gonna have to get. He's gonna. Oh, he's sunbathing. So okay, it opens up with the scene from the quantum. I keep wanting to call it the microverse, because the whole quantum realm is based on another Marvel comic. And that Marvel comic is known as the Micronauts. But the Micronauts is owned by, I think it's owned by Hasbro. And so they were given a license. Yeah, there he goes. There he goes. Yeah, so he's relaxing. It's maxing relaxing. So yeah, so the Micronauts is a toy line, by a company called Actually, a company called Mego. Oh, it's Mego. There used to be Mego toys, and they wanted Marvel got a license for the comic, and they were they were actually pretty long running. They actually ran for about 7 years. So obviously they can't use the name. Well, yeah, Micronauts is Hasbro. Okay. Yeah, Hasbro has the license actually. They were supposed to be part of that whole Hasbro universe, Visionaries, Mask, G.I. Joe, Transformers, etc. Essentially they are the Micronauts. And honestly, I would have liked to seen a Micronauts movie more. But when the whole things is nothing here to show here. What happened? There's nothing to show here. What happened to the picture? What? I had a picture up and nothing happened. And let me see. Hold on. A dumb bin had broken it. You've broken it. You've broken it.
I'm a doctor on Twitter. Is this a man or a woman?
Nothing to show here.
As a
What
doctor,
the hell?
you should be more focused on why somebody like me hasn't had health care since 2000 and I don't know.
So okay, well let me bring up the Micronauts comic book actually. All right, so yeah, they came from inner space, the Micronauts. Fuck, I wanted a bigger picture than that. Nothing's working today. All right, well, okay. Good enough. This is good enough. Yeah, actually, Hasbro owns a lot of rights now. They own a lot of rights. There we go. That should do it. So just to give you a frame of reference. Yeah, so like I said, so the Micronauts is and there are characters that I kind of recognize. Obviously, they can't use the same ones. But it's just like they have this cool idea. They have this really cool idea, and they did nothing with it. They did absolutely nothing with it. And they made it as boring as possible. And they made it as dull as possible. And they made it as lame as possible. That's right, Zaba. Hasbro is the parent company, Power Rangers as well. I'm down for my version of Micronauts. That would be amazing. Well, this also comes back. Yeah, Micronauts, listen, yeah, like I said, Bill Murray, and for spoiler, okay, this is going to be some spoilers. Bill Murray was in it. His character was dumb. Darren Strong comes back. Apparently, Darren Strong didn't die at the end of the first Ant-Man movie. Why? I have no idea. They shrunk him down to a little blob of goo or whatever it was. So Darren Strong comes back as MODOK. Now, they already tried MODOK. Yes, it was an animated series that everybody hated. It was incredibly lame. They tried They tried it. You ever figure, well, let's take another bite of that apple. It's a supervillain who was in therapy. For God's sake. You took a... Could I have at least seen MODOK as an Iron Man or a Captain America villain? Captain America villain?
Why do you have a helmet and nobody else did?
Probably because it's a mystery box. MODOK was supposed to be part of the big animation movement at Marvel Studios. They were going to go with MODOK, Dazzler, Howard the Duck, and I think there was another one. No, that would have made sense. Now this is just squandered. This villain now is just squandered. You could have easily. AIM was already in Iron Man in one of the Iron Man movies. No, I'm not. Well, MODOK would be a good villain instead of Mandarins and third. Yeah, you didn't have to have him have these freakish proportions. The whole idea is that his brain is super developed, that his head's so large that it's weakened the rest of his body. He can't support his body can't support his head's weight. Well, MODOK would have been a good villain instead. The Mandarins in the third one, if they are so afraid of Chinese backlash. Yeah. All right, so they go down to the microverse. The whole premise is that Michelle Pfeiffer is hiding something that she saw in the microverse. She lived in the microverse for 30 years, and she did some things she wasn't proud of. So you would think that, and she didn't tell Hank Pym, and you'd think that somewhere along the line she would have said, Hank, honey, I need to talk to you about something. And there's the whole thing about this, listen, and I appreciate the whole building the the connection between Scott and his daughter, but at the same time, it just came across as just awkward, and this all brings me to another point. I kind of stopped watching, but this brings me to a point. Now, the guy whose name who wrote this is Jeff Loveness. Loveness or something. Well, first of all, he looks like Jake Gyllenhaal. He might as well be Jake Gyllenhaal. Jake Gyllenhaal's evil twin. As far as Kang the Conqueror, who cares really at this point? This is not going to make a whole lot of difference. But this guy's IMDb page is what I want to talk about. Now, the first Ant-Man movie was written by Joe Cornish and Edgar Wright, and it was adapted from that. Now, this guy, Jeff Loveness, again, are they bringing in Mortis? I have no idea. 30 years for her. For us, time passes differently in the microverse. Scott says so. And yeah, that's another thing, too. She should only be... Listen, if Scott spends 5 hours in the microverse and that's 5 years for him, then she should be at the most in her late 30s. I mean, it's I think you get a younger actress to play to play Wasp with Janet Van Dyne. But anyway, here's the problem with this. Now I'm going to bring up this guy Jeff Loveness's writing credits, and I'm gonna make a point here. He's done actual comic book writing. He might have, but at the same time, here's a big problem. We have Ant-Man and the Wasp, Rick and Morty. He wrote 6 episodes. Miracle Workers, which is actually a very good show. Something called Stock, which is a short. He's written for the Oscars. He's written for the 68th Primetime Emmys. Jimmy Kimmel Live, Mostly an Accident. Ride Share, which is so we got some shorts. We got 64th Primetime Emmys. The Onion News Network. The Onion. What about these writing credits tells me that you can write an action movie? Listen, now I understand talent has to come from somewhere. Spoilers, I heard Kang was beaten easily in the 3rd Ant-Man because they take the worst versions of Kang and doing Kang's alliance. Yeah. What here screams I can write an action movie? Now for the people say, oh well, yeah, why can't it be more? No. Okay, they're overthinking this. Marvel movies need to be first and foremost action movies. These are action movies. There's no shame in saying that. There's no shame in being that. Let me see what comics Jeff Loveness has written. He's written he's written Amazing Spider-Man. He's written Nova. He's written a lot of newer stuff. Death of Wolverine. What else? Nova, Sam Alexander Nova, not even good Nova. I Am Groot. Okay, he's written a bunch of Nova. Naranja what? But at the same time, okay, listen, you want to bring him in as a writer, fine. I have no problem with that. Talent has to come from somewhere. However, team him with an actual screenwriter who'll be able to say, stop, wait a minute, can't do this. That's not something you could do. Yeah, well, thank you for doing the math there, Peg Leg Pete. It was the Sam and Rich team up, also Sam rocks. Okay. Well, to me, I hear that's the actual hang up about Nova. They can't decide whether or not they want to use Richard Rider or Sam Alexander, who did not write from Rick and Morty. And that's actually a big problem. Actually, listen to me out. That is a huge problem. Actually, we're seeing the Rick and Mortyization of the Marvel Universe. And there's a couple people that do agree with that. I'm going to bring up an article here. I know Rick and Morty took the world by storm. I know Rick and Morty's incredibly popular. Okay, listen, I like Rick and Morty. I love the first 3 seasons. Okay, I kind of fell out of it. But at the same time, that style of humor does not work for everything. Oh, yeah, let's get Rick and Morty writer Jessica Gao for She-Hulk. Yeah, that's self-referential. That's meta. Oh, Velma, yeah. That's meta. Black Shaggy's meta, yeah, that's right. Black Shaggy meta jokes are better. That's right. But Black Shaggy is a wordsmith. I played it. I did play it. Make sure you check out the new Black Shaggy, guys. Well, like I said, not everything needs to be this, and this is the problem. Okay, we're also seeing the problem here that modern Hollywood has. So when something works, everybody rushes in and runs it right into the ground. I like some ideas of Rick and Morty, but in general, it's It's just annoying. Well, I like. Listen, too much of anything. It was good you keep it to 10 seasons, and that there was a long stretch between seasons, so that when it came back, all right, we're ready for more Rick and Morty. But the whole thing is, like I said, they've taken an idea and they're just running it into the ground. They're beating it to death. Kind of like the idea of when Seth Rogen was in what was he in? Knocked Up, or whatever it was, with Katherine Heigl. So then you started seeing Seth Rogen and everything. Then you started seeing Michael Cera and everything. Then you start seeing the same people. You start seeing the same ideas, and they're just bad. Kevin Feige said something about intentionally not hiring comic book people. So it's surprising to see Loveness involved. Apparently, he's writing the next Avengers film as well. Oh boy, then we got to worry. So, but like I said, team him with another writer. Team him with another writer. I think the scary movies, too many movies kill novelty and interest. Yes. Now, okay, let me bring up this article here. I'm going to bring us up, and this is going to help me make my point. Rick and Mortyization of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is cause for concern. Here's why. Marvel Studios' multiverse saga is clearly borrowing heavily from Rick and Morty, including tasking how the show's writers with shaping the story being told. However, it's not working, and here's why that is. The finite curve, what do they call it? The finite curve. Putting aside the recent scandal surrounding co-creator and voice actor Justin Roiland, no easy feat, admittedly, we can surely agree that the Adult Swim's Rick and Morty is a great TV series. Well, it's not for everybody. I acknowledge that. Irreverent, original, and downright hilarious, the show has broken new ground in the realm of mature animated storytelling in a similar manner to South Park Once Upon a Time. But yeah, South Park is actually still pretty damn funny. I saw the Harry and Meghan episode. That was actually really good. While talented characters often head into outer space on various misadventures, the multiverse is a concept that's been key since the beginning. There's a whole citadel of alternate reality Ricks. For example, the duo have casually hopped between universes for the sake of a punchline on multiple occasions. One episode even saw them destroy their planet, find another Earth that's almost identical, kill it. No, actually, no, they didn't kill. They didn't kill their Rick and their Morty. The respective doppelgangers then take their place as if nothing happened. That Earth's Rick and Morty were killed in an accident. So you're getting it wrong right there. It is a moment which has since been referenced, but Rick and Morty is set in a largely consequence-free world, a necessity of episodic television, and a series that, once it concludes, will live on as reruns from now until the end of time. Well, don't be so sure. In recent years, Marvel Studios has hired a number of Rick and Morty writers to work on the MCU, specifically for stories key to the multiverse saga. After writing Logan, Michael Waldron was tapped to pen Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and is currently hard at work on Avengers Secret Wars. Jeff Loveness, meanwhile, kicked things off with Ant-Man and the Wasp's Quantumania and has since been hired to write Avengers The Kang Dynasty. Now, we're not going to underestimate or play down the talent of either writer. Actually, I can question it. After what I saw, I'm gonna outright question it. However, this is increasingly complicated and confusing saga. Storytelling is in the hands of two comedy writers whose contributions to the MCU have been hit and miss at best. Loki, while excellent, never really bothered to properly explain the multiverse and left fans with a lot of questions. Doctor Strange's sequel was fine, but underwhelmed fans and had little to no connective tissue with Loki. As for Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, it's close to being the worst reviewed MCU movie ever. Next Avengers is being directed by the guy who did Shang-Chi. That the partner you wanted? Oh boy. That's a red flag. Both Waldron and Loveness are used to working as a part of a writer's room and on chaotic series where co-creator paraded an adult film star through the office. So they can probably handle Marvel Studios' unique approach to storytelling. Oh, is that true? Oh, okay. Oh, good for him. However, whether they're qualified enough for the job is up for debate, and handing them an Avengers movie each could prove to be a costly mistake on Marvel Studios' part. By the time Stephen McFeely and Christopher Marcus got to work on Infinity War and Endgame, they cut their teeth on Captain America franchise, with Civil War essentially Avengers 2.5 anyway. It feels like Marvel Studios is relying too heavy on Waldron and Loveness's past experiences with multiversal storytelling to shape the multiverse sagas, and so far, it's not going well. There's still time to answer many questions fans have, but with poorly defined rules, storytelling that's alienating critics and non-hardcore fans, I'm probably what you call a hardcore fan, and it's alienating me. Hit and miss projects from both writers. Now might be a good time to rethink things and go back to the drawing board. There's bound to be some sort of grand plan that ties everything together, but Steve Rogers spent decades in an alternate timeline with Peggy Carter, only for Loki to tell us, that was supposed to happen, so it's okay. That flies in the face of what we learned in Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness and suggests, did that happen? Okay, I'll have to. It suggests the multiverse's rules are both being made up on the fly and changed to suit each story. It's a concept that lessens the stakes as it is. If there's literally countless Kang variants, why do any of these Kangs actually matter? But the approach we've seen thus far does little to inspire confidence, and it's telling that Waldron and Loveness are at the heart of that. So, I mean, the MCU isn't Rick and Morty, and the unconventional throwaway approach to the multiverse that served that show just fine isn't working here. Putting Kang after Kang on screen and basically explaining as LOL variants from the multiverse isn't going to fly the same way it does when Rick Sanchez casually blasts through his alternate selves. Now, we're sure many of you will feel like we're jumping the gun, but reliable sources suggest only Loki Season 2 will be directly multiverse related before Avengers Kang Dynasty arrives. Deadpool 3 too, of course, but again, that's a comedic movie and one we find it hard to believe will pit the Merc with the Mouth and Wolverine against Kang. Loki certainly stands a chance of explaining things, but Season 2's head writer, Rick and Morty scribe Eric Martin. Again, Rick and Morty is a fantastic series and worthy of the acclaim it receives. The writers we've mentioned are hugely talented individuals we're excited to see in the MCU. And we head into Phase 5, however, it's clear that the show's writers aren't entirely adept at telling stories in the MCU. And the saga is relying solely on them bringing these muddled and poorly defined ideas together for the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars amid disappointing non-multiverse related movies like The Eternals, Thor, Love and Thunder. Marvel Studios may be in trouble. So, yeah. So, hard to argue with a lot of those points. It really is. It really is hard to argue with a lot of those points. Now, the whole other thing is, like I said, one of the things that I've said about Jessica Gao and She-Hulk, she was allegedly wrote the Pickle Rick episode. We don't know how much of the Pickle Rick episode she wrote. It could have been just, well, what if we turn Rick into a pickle? And that was it. Not only do we have to deal with the microverse, also the multiverse, it's too much for them to handle. We still have Galactus to come. Actually, that's a great point. When they were doing the original films, they were all culminating to one point, and that was Infinity War. You know, whether you knew it or not, they were all building towards that. The Tesseract was an Infinity Stone, or it was called the Cosmic Cube. The Ether from Thor 2. You know, they were sprinkling elements throughout these films, but they were still their own films. Now I think it's suffering from the same problem that Star Trek suffers from, in that you have people working on these things and they're just not qualified. Nia DaCosta, now the Marvels just got pushed back. Again, talk about people that are not qualified. The Marvels just got pushed back again. Nia DaCosta, who is directing the Marvels, she has a whole 3 films under her belt. That's it, 3. And this is a problem that's going on throughout the film industry. You have unqualified writers. You have unqualified directors. You have unqualified producers, all doing these things. And a lot of people actually said, but I tend to think that they're doing these things because these studios don't want anybody who are going to ask questions. They want people that are amenable, and they want them to work cheap. Rian Johnson was most likely tickled pink that he got to do a Star Wars movie. I get to do a Star Wars movie? Oh, yeah, I get to do Star Wars. Yeah, I'm Rian Johnson. I'm Rian Johnson. I get to do Star Wars. Yay, Star Wars. You know, they're tickled pink. And, you know, and Disney can come in and say, yeah, kid, yeah, we want to make sure we put these, mention this in the script, mention that in the script. But where am I going to put it? Oh, yeah. Hey, kid, you want to keep working? All right, then you're going to do it. Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. This all goes in again. We see evidence of that. That's a freaking. What was it? Scott Dickinson or whatever his name was, the horror director. Scott. He did the first Doctor Strange movie. And he was what the hell did I just mention here? I want to look up some of these film credits. Who the fuck's film credits were there? Look up. I was going to look up some of these film credits. I don't remember. Good directors that won't work for Disney anymore. That's right. Now, listen, not that I'm in until I remember whose film credits I was going to look up. Oh God. There was a talk about, like I said, they're hiring people on the cheap. You know, there was a film writer. Now, there's a writer named Lindsay Beer. Now, I started first hearing this name a few years ago. Oh, Lindsay Beer. She hadn't written a thing. She hadn't written a single word. But she was being touted as a hot property. She still hasn't had a movie in the theaters that she's written by herself. But she's got representation. She's got Lindsay Beer. This comes down again to McDonaldization of media. And this comes down to cost, obviously, because they don't want anybody. Because if they're going to have to go out and hire a real screenwriter, it's going to cost them money. That's money they don't want to use. They don't want. And this also comes back to people that are going to ask questions. She ticks the right boxes, hire them. Yeah. Lindsay Beer. Now, I just don't understand the thing is, listen, again, I understand talent has to come from somewhere. Okay? Yet at the same time, it takes a while to hone your craft. Joss Whedon used to be a writer on Roseanne. And a lot of writers write soap operas. Soap operas. Granted, there's not a lot of soap operas around anymore. But the whole point about being a writer is you write. You keep writing. You write and you write and you write and you write and you write. Unfortunately, now you get guys turning in the first draft like Ryan Johnson. All right, there you go. Ron Friedman. I keep going back to Ron Friedman. He wrote a ton back in the day. Disney won't pay money for good directors and writers. Then they pay money for reshoots. If you think about that for a minute, listen, Meow. I mean, you're not wrong. I mean, if you have a good writer and a good director, you can avoid reshoots. You can avoid the extensive reshoots. You could have avoided the debacle that was the sequel trilogy. And that's another thing, too. Making movies for streaming services isn't worth a big director's time. One of the things is about that, you have what we call the watering down of product. Dilutes the product. The watering down of the product. Whenever you expand, I keep saying this about sports ball. When you have expansion, the product becomes watered down. And it's not even, they don't even call it product anymore. They call it content. They don't even call it programming. It's not programming. It's not an hour-long drama. It's not a sitcom. It's content. They just think of it as just a block. Just like a random empty block. Oh, content. Oh, we need more content. Oh, content. It's content. Oh, look, we got so much content. But none of it's good. None of it is good. And because you have the watering down of product and programming and sitcoms or whatever, you have hacks like Lindsay Beer, like the revolving door of Gilmore Girls level writers that were on Star Trek Discovery. Walk in, walk out. And honest to God, people malign the like the 60s and 70s, like, oh yeah, well, what were shows and movies really that good in the 60s and 70s? I'm like, well, a lot of them weren't. But you know what? You had to be good to get one of those writing jobs. And I understand you had stinkers like My Mother the Car. But at the same time, you had to be good to get one of those writing jobs because there weren't a lot out there. And again, we're seeing and again, come back to the other thing that Frank Zappa said. We are seeing the whole thing about the hip young executive, say, well, we can't take a chance on that because it's not what the kids want. And I know. Where was the old guy with his feet up on the desk and the cigar? I don't know what this is. Take a chance. See if it sells. See if it sells. And I know they're very risk averse, but that's the thing. You got to take a chance on something new occasionally. What do we have now? We have a lot of Gilmore Girls level qualities. Feige once said if they want to make something that's comic fans happy, then they know it's quality. Now actively trying not to hire comic people. The target audience has changed. It's never been the same. Here's the thing. Here's the thing I think he doesn't understand. There's a reason why the industry survived so long. It's because a lot of, whether they want to admit to it or not, a lot of people read comics. A lot of people read comic books. It's something pretty much everybody did back when I was growing up. You read comic books, you collected them, you put them in the plastic bags, you put them in a box, you kept them for posterity. I think a lot of people are underselling the comic book audience. And if you didn't read comic books, you knew who the characters were. You were aware of the characters. You know who Batman is. You know who Superman is. Even if you're not familiar with it, you know who Iron Man is. You know who Spider-Man is. You know who Captain America is. You kind of know who Thor. And the other characters you bring in, oh yeah, they're in this guy. Oh yeah, okay, cool, yeah. We don't get any of that anymore. And there was a lawsuit actually about a year ago. Disney was suing the creators' families. They were suing the kid to keep the rights. They want the rights to Captain America, and they want the rights to Iron Man, and they want the rights to Spider-Man, and they want to deny the families of Stan Lee and Jack Kirby and Joe Simon and Steve Ditko. They want to deny them the right there. They want to deny them their birthright. They want to deny them their hard work. Why? Because there's billions of dollars to be made. I think Phase 5 is probably going to be his biggest stinker. And if it were me, let's say, listen, forget this multiverse nonsense, okay? Forget the multiverse, okay? We're gonna do Galactus. We're gonna do Galactus, or we're just gonna do the original Secret Wars. We'll do the original Secret Wars, so that way you have all the team ups, you have all the villains, and all the heroes together in the same place. But at the same time, though, they really screwed themselves on this one. Because now you have half the villains are either dead or they're gone. You still don't have X-Men yet. Yeah, well, but the thing is, Secret Wars with the Beyonder. I mean, the 80s Secret Wars, is that what they're building towards? I mean, are you gonna have like Anthony Mackie Captain America and Riri Williams? Are you gonna have those Avengers? And Kate Bishop, Hawkeye. Didn't they do Secret Wars and Spider-Man? Yeah, they did. And it was actually really good. Yeah, that was really good. And I still want that on DVD. Well, it's on Disney Plus streaming now. It's on Disney Plus streaming. So I mean, I still want that on DVD. That was never released on DVD. Hopefully it's on streaming. I can see that. But anyway. When I was reading, the Beyonder is going to be oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Please don't do that. No, Secret Wars had the multiverse shattered Doctor Doom rebuilt Earth using pieces. So Marvel Zombies was a region, Ultimate Marvel was a region, etc. Oh, for God's sake. That sounds absolutely horrendous. Yeah, and they wonder why Marvel went down the shitter. All right. Well, anyway, so that's going to be. So I talked long enough about that. 55 minutes in. Haven't even started my beer yet. So let's do some animal news. Let's see. We got animal news. Animal. I've been sort of obsessing with the eastern cougar. Apparently the eastern cougar is not extinct, but let's see what we have for animal news. Okay. Oh, dolphin. Oh, okay. Let's see this. Okay. Well, this is from 19 days ago, but it's still kind of an interesting story. Actually, we don't have any sports. We don't have any sports news of the NFL. The NFL is actually has ended. I lost $20 on the Super Bowl. Can it be found at bars? No, I'm talking like mountain lions, cougars, the eastern cougar. The whole thing about if you're a fan of baseball in America, spring training starts soon. Actually, spring training. The teams are reporting for spring training as we speak. So the Yankees are not going to sign Brett Gardner again. The Eagles costed me monies. That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, only 20. I put 20 on the Super Bowl. As a Giant fan, I should have known better than to bet the Eagles. So, okay, so let's go on to some animal news. I am working on that. There's some problem with that. Black Shaggy is going to be hard to get monetized because they're so short. But I'm working on that. I gotta straighten that out. So anyway, animal news. Dolphins and humans continue up to go fishing. Scientists now understand why. So, okay. In the seaside city of Laguna, scientists have used drones, underwater sound recordings, other tools to document how local people and dolphins coordinate their actions from benefit from each other's labor. Fishing community in southern Brazil has an unusual ally, wild dolphins. Accounts of people and dolphins working together to hunt fish go back millennia. From time to time, the Roman Empire near what is now southern France to 19th century Queensland, Australia. But while historians and storytellers have recounted human point of view, it's been impossible to confirm how the dolphins have benefited or if they've been taking advantage of before sonar and underwater microphones could track them underwater. In the seaside city of Laguna, scientists have for the first time used drones and underwater sound recordings and other tools to document how local people and dolphins coordinate actions and benefit from each other's labor. The most successful humans and dolphins are skilled at reading each other's body language. Research was published Monday in the journal Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences. Laguna residents work with the wild bottlenose dolphins to catch schools of migratory silverfish called mullet. It's locally famous alliance that has been recorded in newspapers going back 150 years. This study clearly shows that both dolphins and humans are paying attention to each other's behavior and that dolphins provide a cue to when nets should be cast. Said Stephanie King, biologist who studies dolphins communications at the University of Bristol and was not involved in research. This is really incredible cooperative behavior, she added. By working with dolphins, people catch more fish, and the dolphins are more successful in foraging too. Dolphins and humans are both highly intelligent and long-lived social animals, but when it comes to fishing, they have different abilities. The water is really murky here, so the people can't see the schools of fish, but the dolphins can use sounds to find them by emitting small clicks, much as bats use echolocation, said Maurizio Cantor, an Oregon State University marine biologist and study co-author. As the dolphins herd the fish towards the coast, the people run them into the People run into the water holding hand nets. They wait for the dolphins to signal exactly where the fish are. The most common signal is what locals call a jump or sudden deep dive, said Cantor, who is affiliated with the Federal University of Santa Catarina, Florianópolis in Brazil. Researchers use sonar and underwater microphones to track the positions of the dolphins and fish, while drones recorded interactions from above. And GPS devices attached to the residents' wrists recorded when they cast their nets. The more closely people synchronized their net casting to the dolphins' signals, the more likely they were to trap a large catch. So, what's in it for the dolphins? The descending nets startle the fish, which break into smaller schools that are easier for dolphins to hunt. Dolphins may also take one or two fish from the net. Sometimes fishers can feel dolphin tugging a little on the net, said Cantor. The Laguna residents categorize the individual dolphins as good, bad, or lazy based on their skill in hunting and affinity for cooperating with humans, said Cantor. People get more excited when they see a good dolphin approaching the shore. These dolphins and humans have developed a joint foraging culture that allows both of them to do better. Boris Worm, a marine ecologist at University of Halifax, Canada. Dalhousie, I guess, I don't know, was not involved in research. It's not clear how the Laguna cooperation first emerged, but it survived multiple human and dolphin generations, with knowledge passed down by experienced fishers and dolphins to the next generation of each species. Still, researchers in Brazil worry that Laguna Alliance, perhaps one of the last of its kind, may be in danger as well. As pollution threatens dolphins, artisanal fishing gives way to industrial methods. Human-wildlife cooperation is disappearing because we're decimating the wildlife populations, said Janet Mann, a dolphin researcher at Georgetown University who was not involved in the study. Scientists hope the greater awareness of the unusual interspecies cooperation can help drive support to protect it. It's amazing that it's lasted over a century. Can we keep this cultural tradition alive amid many changes? Said Damien Farine, University of Zurich biologist and study co-author. So there you go, dolphins and people working together. And why not? They're adorable. They're just downright adorable. I love the dolphins. They're so cute. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, I remember that one. So there you go, dolphins and man working together, but who knows for how much longer. So anyway, so there you have it. We've been at this 1 hour through 3 minutes. I would like to thank everyone for showing up today. I'd like to thank Morbid Fury, Senior Sticks, Anthony Way, Holocron Records. As most of you know, I've been playing Hitman. I am on to the Hitman Freelancer mode. Hopefully, I can do that a little bit later today. If not, I may start Mad Max. I'm going to be playing that next. It is downloaded, it is installed, and we will be commencing it very soon. Everyone, I would like to thank you all for showing up, and Mecca may be doing another stream soon. She is taking a rest. Everyone have a good rest of your Sunday. Have a good rest of your day. Have a good... Don't do Freelancer. Don't do... Oh, okay. All right. Good advice. So we'll do that. We'll do the elusive targets. Okay. Everyone have a good rest of your day. Have a good Sunday. Have a good Monday. Have a good whatever you're having. Have a good President's Day if you have it off. Everyone, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. No drinking, no driving. We want to see you back here next time. And as always, we will catch you next time.